That's a big name to have, and just to like come straight out of like the pen and everything.
Not
like
the pen. I ain't never been to the pen, sir.
Prodcast with a prodigy. This the podcast with a prodigy. This the podcast with a prodigy. My podcast.
Yo, what's good, everybody? You know what it is. Another episode of the Prodcast with Prodigy. I'm your host himself. Today, we got an artist, songwriter, author, and entrepreneur, SKG. You know, I'm glad you're here.
Thank you for having me.
I'm glad. Where are you coming from?
From LA.
From LA?
Mm-hmm.
It's not too bad down here. Was there a lot of traffic?
You know what? Coming up the 10, it wasn't. But once I got to like the other freeways,
Yeah.
A little.
Can't move nowhere around here fast, but you know, an hour or 2 hours to get there is, you know, pretty fast.
Yeah,
pretty
but
normal.
the scenery is cool, so I enjoyed like the scenery while I was driving.
Yeah, all up in the hills and stuff. We get to see a bunch of stuff. So, you said you come from LA. Did you grow up in LA?
Yep, I grew up in LA.
Where did you go to school?
Oh my God. I went to so many schools. I went to Crenshaw. I went to Altaloma High in Rancho. I went to Narbonne. I graduated from Inglewood High. I just went to a gang of schools. Morningside. Probably you name it. I probably went to damn near every school in LA.
Nice. Oh, what was your favorite subject going to all these schools?
Music class.
Did you go to music class in all your schools?
No, Crenshaw did. Mm-hmm.
How was that? What did you guys do in there?
You know, it was the band, so we was learning instruments, and they had the majorettes, and it was pretty dope. In Crenshaw, that's the school that had a lot of drip, a lot of sauce. So you know, yeah.
What was you doing? Was you like singing? Was you playing
You know what? I was always rapping since I was and going back to junior high, I was like the kid, lunchtime, always rapping. Yeah. Every time somebody see me, I'm rapping. And it's so funny because like my friends that was my friends when I was 12, 13, they always bring that up like, oh my God, remember we was in school and all you used to do is rap. Because in school, I was rapping when it wasn't kids rapping. It wasn't like the thing. It was more so older people. So
yeah, still hidden.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel that. What did your parents do for a living?
My childhood was a little complicated. So my grandparents raised me a lot, but my mother, when I was younger, she was on drugs, and my father, he was in the penitentiary.
Oh, how was it, you know, growing up with your grandparents?
I always say those was the best times because my grandparents ran a structured household. So my grandfather, you know, he went to work. My grandmother, she was a housewife. She took care of the house. She took care of the kids. She took care of the grandkids. So through them two, I was able to see a positive, structured environment from my grandparents.
Yeah. You got that. You know, see that early, see what it's like to have all those responsibilities.
Yeah, but I reiterate back to that even now being an adult, because I had to remember they're both deceased now, but they really taught me at a young age, and I didn't understand it back then because I was too young. But becoming an adult, what having a positive household was like. So, you know, as far as them taking care of the household together as a team.
Yeah.
You
set an example, so now you already know.
Right.
You're ready for it.
Mm-hmm.
Nice. What neighborhood did you grow up in primarily?
I'm from the Crenshaw and Slauson area. That's where I grew up. That's where my grandparents live. That's where my family is predominantly from.
Yeah. And growing up there, did you ever, you know, find yourself affiliated in any like gang, you know, involvement or stuff like that? Were the people that you were friends with that were involved with that stuff?
You know, I think LA culture, if you grow up in a certain neighborhood and you guys are young kids and you have teenagers in your household and they get familiar with the community, you're going to always be affiliated with that community. So growing up, you know, in the Crenshaw and Slauson area, that area right there is the Rolling 60 Crips. So my family, I have a generational family that come from that neighborhood.
Yeah. Wait, you said which gang again?
The Rolling 60 Crips.
Oh, the same one that Nipsey Hussle was from, right?
Right.
Dang, that's crazy. Do you ever get to see him around in the areas or anything like that?
Yeah. Me and Nipsey, we we was cool. We was cool, and I remember when Nipsey first started. So yeah.
That's cool. Did you ever get to obviously you're an artist and everything like that. Did you ever get to work with him?
Yeah, I worked with him. I'm actually one of the first people that got his song played on radio. I was working over at K-Day under the owners, Roy Laughlin, and Roy is the one who put Ryan Seacrest on American Idol. His wife is Ellen K from Kiss FM. And the other owner, who is a billionaire, Michael Durbin. So at that time, I was working under them, and the program director over there at the time was Theo. So because I had got the gig at the radio station, I brought Nipsey and everybody up to the station and convinced the owners and the program director to start playing his music on K-Day. So you know why I think he was over with Shapiro and Steve Lobel, but while he was over there with them and they were mapping out his plan, I did what I was able to do, you know, because we were from the same neighborhood and because I did have a corporate job that, you know, was giving me leeway. So it was kind of like you want to help your peoples if you're moving up.
Yeah.
It was, yeah.
That's what's up. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Put him on a lot of game right there.
That's when he was just starting the Slauson Boys.
Man, that's crazy. How did you end up being able to work at K-Day?
Well, I came in the music industry, so I initially started off as a rapper, which I'm still a rapper, but I had signed and got my first deal when I was very young. And then I featured on a few projects, wrote and performed on them. And I had got into some trouble and trials and tribulations, so I had to step back from the music scene. So I went into coordinating events. And the owners of K-Day seen what I was doing, and they were very impressed. And so Roy Laughlin offered me a proposition, which was to come work for him at the radio station. I accepted, and that was like my first corporate job in my 20s.
Dang, that's what's up. Was it like a good, obviously it was a good job, you know, you got to get exposure and stuff like that, right?
Yeah, it was a good job, but it taught me about politics. I didn't know about corporate politics. And, you know, like you have street politics, but you also have corporate politics. So I had to learn a lot, which I was taught by the owners. They taught me how to go in meetings and be stern and aggressive in regards to what I want. Don't let a person label me or put me in a box. You know, especially being a Black woman, it's like you got to play the big boys games in the corporate world. So I went to a lot of meetings with them. I closed a lot of deals with them. I brought a lot of things to the table. And having that job and dealing with the owners really taught me and was able to I guess, lace me in regards to deals, corporate, and I'm able to apply what I learned back then into the deals that I do now. Yeah.
The start of you being a boss.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. You said that you got signed when you were young. How old were you?
So I was rapping at like 12, 13. I was in the studios with, you're so young, you don't know who it is, but it was a group called Levert, and it was a gentleman in a group named Mark Gordon. So I used to go up to his studio on Vine. This was like in the late 90s. And I started going to his studio, which was called Three-Way Productions. And it was another studio with a producer named Chewy, my first producer I ever worked with, called 17 Day Productions. So this is when we used to record. It was before Pro Tools, DATs, and ADATs, right? So I was there. I was a young girl going there every single day, catching the bus by myself and just recording. And long story short, I was already around everybody from death row, but I was younger. So I was already in the mix, but I was younger.
Yeah.
I had got into some trouble and I had ended up going to camp. I had to go to juvenile hall and I had to do a year camp program. So while I was in camp, I was writing. Like, it helped me to stay out of trouble because I didn't know how to program when I first went to juvie and to camp. I kind of thought things worked my way. Yeah. And I soon found out that it didn't work my way, it worked their way. So I was in the hole a lot. I was getting maced a lot. I was getting refouled on. I was going through a gang of stuff. And I had got into some trouble where I had fought a staff member and I choked her with her lanyard. But she attacked me first, though. She attacked me first. So I choked her with her lanyard and they jumped me in my juvie cell. When they jumped me, that's the first time I ever got stomped out. So they stomped me out, pepper sprayed me, spit on me, everything, and closed my cell door, lock it. I'm screaming, I'm hollering, it's burning, and I had to dump my whole head in the toilet. It was the nastiest thing as a young lady that I ever had to do. But I was in a situation. And that experience, I ended up getting refouled on. So now I'll never forget my judge, Corona. And they were talking about sending me to YA, to youth authority. So I was fighting it. I had to go to trial and I needed something to redirect me because I had lost sight of my music because I was in this situation. I prayed, went back, I started writing, and I'm like, God, if you get me out of this, I'm going to do right. All I want to do is my music. So while I'm going to trial to juvenile courts, and I lost my trial, right? But I'm writing and I'm praying to God. The blessing was, even though I lost my trial, what they sentenced me to was still in the juvie, and they ran it concurrent, which means that I didn't have to do extra time. So if I already have a year and the judge gave me a year, it's concurrent. So it's like, just do the year and get on. Yeah. So I looked at that as a blessing, and I was just like, let me just write. I'm just going to write all these raps. When I get out, I'm going to get a deal. And I wrote all those raps. I did my year. When I got out, I went to death row and I got a deal. When I got my deal, I landed on Tupac Until the End of Time album that was dropping. So my label mates was like Crooked Eye, Left Eye, Corrupt, Hutch, Michelet, and I went in there and I wrote on the record. And Interscope at the time, I believe it was Eve up for that record, Left Eye. It was a lot of people for the record, and they didn't really want to take a chance on me because I was a new artist. I was a young artist, didn't have no name, but my verse was so dope. They approved my verse, and then I was able to make it on the record. So that was my start because I was able to get a plaque from that. And it was like, okay, I said, God, you got me out of this. I came home, I did this. Now I'm ready to work. Yeah, you know what? Jewel Box, they just ordered me another plaque. I actually got 2 plaques. So I got 2 plaques coming, my platinum plaques. I think it went diamond. Yeah. And then I had did Dog Pound album until the end. Dog Pound album, Dog Pound 2002, and I had the song 10 Till Midnight. So I get a plaque for that as well. So it's just like, okay, like I accomplished this. I stayed out of trouble. Yeah. At least I tried to stay out of trouble. Now what's next? So,
I mean, that's pretty insane, especially realizing that at such a young age, and just, it's like, how'd that make you feel? It's like, cause as Death Row Records, it's like, and then like, it's a big name to have, and just to like come straight out of like the pen and everything.
Not like, the pen. I ain't never been to the pen, sir.
The little kid.
Yeah, the little kid. No, but you know what? Going to juvenile hall and doing a camp program was really intense as a child on me. And I think people don't understand that because they snatch your freedom, they snatch everything, and if you don't know how to program, your ass is in trouble. But coming out and accomplishing that, I was proud of myself. And even like the staff that knew, they were calling me like Choice, because there they call you by your last name. They're like, Choice, we so proud of you, Choice. We knew you had it in you, so it was something that I was happy that I accomplished on my own.
Yeah, that's pretty insane, especially being so young. Like, most people work like years and years just to do records and stuff like that.
But I was always determined at, you know, because I've been on my own since I was young. So, you know, I didn't have the luxury of having a good life after my grandparents died because my parents were not stable enough to take care of me or raise me, you know, so I had to kind of get it out the mud and get it out the streets. So I always had the mentality of I'm going to make it, you know,
Yeah.
no matter what it was.
Of course, yeah.
Yeah.
Growing up in that situation and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I wanted to talk about your brother, Trayvon, and the bank robbery incident that happened that I looked up. So tell me this. He gets into a bank robbery with 3 other guys, and they get into a speed chase, and
So,
mid-speed chase, they end up calling you. What happens after that?
okay, let me just clarify, okay? The LA culture, and I didn't realize this because anybody that's from LA, like from a neighborhood or anybody that grew up in my era, they know what it is. You know, like that's what they do. You gonna hit a bank lick, you gonna hit a jewelry lick, you gonna hit a lick, you gonna fly. You're gonna do whatever it takes to get to the money. You gonna scam it. You know, that's just the era that it was. But my brother is all public record. But my brother Trayvon, may he rest in peace. My brother passed away a couple of years ago. But so what you read, his thing is he used to have these postal worker uniforms, with the postal bag and a postal truck. I don't even know where the hell he got the postal truck from. I'm like, where did you serve? But so what they would do is they would go to the bank in their postal uniforms, act like they're delivering mail, and no one would question it because they have the whole, you know, get down. And as they go in, you know, they pull it out and it's hostile takeover. So the last bank lick my brother hit, everyone got caught but him. He got away. So in the process of him getting away, one of his crimies snitched on him.
Oh.
And so when he snitched on him, it put the feds on my brother. So for, you know, some years, my brother, he was on the run, very smart, very suave type dude. So he knew how to mix and mingle in both worlds, you know, and he was doing good. And one day I'm rolling down Crenshaw and I'm getting all these calls, and he called me and he like, sis, I'm on the news. Like, they got me. And I'm like, where you at? He like, I'm at home. I'm in Seal Beach. I'm coming to LA. And you know, I was like, well, come on. We got you. And the type of family, all my family is dead and gone now. So the only people that I have from my family is my children. So my uncles, my brother, my grandparents all passed away. And that's like a whole nother mental thing I dealt with. But, you know, the type of family we came from, it was always you protect yours, no matter what. Like, you protect your bloodline. You ride or die for yours. So when my brother, you know, called, it was just kind of like a do or die. Like, let's go. So I stayed on the phone with him the whole time. We called a family acquaintance. And we was just like, come to Crenshaw and Slauson. And we went to the gas station. And he was just like, I'm coming. I'm about to come down Crenshaw. And thinking back, I don't know now if I would do it. You know, I'm serious, you know, because I didn't have kids then. I was young. I was wild. I was in the streets. It was what it was. But now that I'm an adult and I have children, I would go ballistic if one of my kids did that for their siblings, you know. But I just remember looking up and all I seen was just like 20 to 30 cops and probably 7 helicopters. And it was just like, I've just never seen no shit like that in my life. I'm like, oh, this is real. You know, it's the real deal. It's about to go down. So we all on the phone and my brother's just like, I'm coming, sis, here I come. And we like, come on, let's go. And he come and he speeds past. And when he speed past, we just jump in a high speed chase with him. And I just remember I got my car and the police is on their thing talking about get the fuck out the way. And I got my scarf around my head and I'm giving them the middle finger. And a family acquaintance, you know, she was with us and she took her car and it was just like, it's going to be what it's going to be. And she ran into the police cars and flipped them over. and me and my brother kept going. He made a right on 43rd by the barbershop, jumped out. He almost got hit by his car, actually. The car barely, it missed him, and he went in the barbershop. I banked the right, went into the neighborhood. My brother went in the shop, sat down. They act like they was cutting his hair. He switched his clothes. And he let time pass, went out the barbershop, looked around like, wow, the police out here, you know, some player shit. Went to a car, got in the car. And the only reason why he got caught is because the police officers was stopping the cars. And when they stopped the car he was in, they had the picture and they caught him.
Oh, damn. That would have been crazy if you made it away. It would have been
and the police, like, I don't know if you read it, but even the sergeant was like, in my 30-something years of working cases, I've never seen nobody call their family to intervene in a chase. And you know, you think about stuff like that. In a moment you don't, you just want to protect your family. Like, I didn't come from a family, if a police officer is beating up my family, I'm not going to just stand there. Yeah. It's going to be what it's going to be. Like, if a police officer is about to kill my loved one, I'm not going to just stand there with a camera. Is at the end of the day, it's going to be what it's going to be. You're going to have to kill all of us. So, you know, that's how I was with my brother and with my loved ones and people that I love. And I stand on that. It's not something I say. It's something that you can read about. You feel me? Like, yeah. But now I don't think I'll be intervening in no high-speed chases. Not at this time. But back then I was wild. And, you know, that caused a lot of bullshit with me being signed to Death Row Records because Suge was mad. I was on the news. He was mad as hell. Like, you're signed to the label. I already got this stuff with Pac and everything else, and you out here on high-speed chases. And it wasn't just that. It was so many other things, you know. And I think back now, like, I really wasn't being a responsible entertainer. Because if God blessed me with this, and I was just in camp praying, I'm going to do right. Then I get out and I'm on a high-speed chase with my brother. It, you know?
Yeah. So, like, did you ever end up getting caught up or arrested for it?
No, because it was a statute of limitations. So I ended up, I didn't get arrested for it. I didn't get anything for it. It is what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, made the most of it, I guess. Like, almost got away. But.
Yeah. He ended up doing 8 years. He got 8 years.
Yeah.
And then the family acquaintance, she got 10 years for running into the police cars. Yeah.
Damn. And you didn't get nothing.
And I didn't get nothing. I was blessed.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, all respect for, like, the love and, you know, protection of your family.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, like, I loved my brother. You know, he's not here no more, but, you know, everybody who know me knew how much my brother meant to me. I would give anything to have him back here.
Yeah. Just rest in peace.
Yeah.
So I wanted to also talk about Angela Wallace. She's a famous, people don't know, she's a famous attorney. She represented people like Magic Johnson and Dre. Dr. Dre, people don't know. You don't talk about. If you're watching this podcast, you should know he's talking about, you know. But she defrauds two brothers and gets their parents' insurance money after their mother, who was killed by an LAPD officer, dies. Can you tell me about that?
The stuff with Angie Wallace is public record, but you know, this is why I tell people, and I always use her as an example so people can understand. sometimes people hide behind their degrees. And just because a person has a degree do not make them smarter than the next person or better than the next person. Because sometimes people that hold degrees are, and I'm not saying for everybody, but for the people that I've encountered, like Angie Wallace, they are mentally unstable, and they hide behind their degrees to try to manipulate people that they're something that they're actually not. Angela Wallace was an attorney. She was my attorney sometimes when I was over at Death Row Records. She was a friend of my family's, and she was my uncle Timothy Mack's business partner. And she was just a corrupt attorney who put a hit out on her clients and got her clients killed for their money, you know. And even back then, you know, with time come growth and maturity. You just don't understand the wrongdoings of a situation, and I didn't understand it back then because I was young and my mind wasn't as wise as it is now. But when you look at the scope of the whole picture with her, you know, she's dirty. She's really dirty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy. Like, to, you know, actually be willing to, you know, partake in that. It's like, I don't know, I guess you're thinking more about the money than anything, right?
Yeah, and she just got, you know, my uncle, my brother, myself, my family just caught up in so much stuff because of her greed and her lies, and even that affected, you know, my record deal because I'm being associated with these people because of what she did. You know, they're trying to indict me on it, and I don't even have anything to do with it, but it's kind of like guilty by association just because she's business partners with my uncle, you know. And that showed me, if you can get your clients killed for their mother's insurance money and you're their attorney, it makes me not trust nobody. And that's why I move the way I move.
Yeah. How did she end up involving your brother?
She didn't involve my brother. She involved my uncle, Timothy Mack. So basically, he's in jail on 3 consecutive life sentences for those murders. And he got found guilty for conspiracy, while Angie didn't get found guilty because he wouldn't snitch on her. When actuality, my uncle shouldn't be sitting in prison on 3 consecutive life sentences. If anything, her ass should be in jail. My uncle should be free. You know, it's just, it was informants in within my family that was wearing wiretaps that, you know, I thought was really my family, and we were working to get my uncle off, but it just didn't work that way. And in the end, he took the fall for which she actually, you know, was a part of.
Yeah. How did that murder happen?
So per the article that was in LA Times, my brother, because my brother was robbing banks in a postal uniform, they tied him to those murders because it was a postalman who went up to the door, knocked on the door, and executed everybody. So they thought it was someone delivering mail. And because my brother had already had the MO of robbing banks in postal uniforms, and these boys got killed with somebody that was wearing a postal uniform, they thought automatically it was my brother, and it wasn't.
Yeah.
You know, and
was it like the same exact company, or was it just like a general like mailman costume?
I mean, it was the postal uniform. Everybody know what time it is with a postal uniform that's from the hood. You know, it was a postal uniform. That's why a postal man, and even from stuff like that, even to this day, a person can't just knock on my door and I don't just open my door. If I open it, I got something with me because of things that I've seen, things that I've been through. So I'm very skeptical. Like, I don't even let people know where I lay my head, where I rest, because I've been through so much, you know. But with Angie, she just tied us into so many things that we really didn't need to be tied into.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? Yeah. And it was kind of like guilty by association. And that's karma that she has to deal with. And looking back, that really affected my deals. You know, I didn't really realize I was going through trauma and PTSD and all type of stuff because of everything that I've been through. And I wasn't able to go to my full potential in regards to completing my album, doing my music, because I'm dealing with all of this negative, toxic, dysfunctional shit that's not normal, if that makes sense.
No, and I totally get you.
And dealing with that made me search for having a normal lifestyle, you know.
Yeah. Well, I mean, shit, like going through all this chaos, you obviously still made it up in the game, and
right.
you're still raising your family and everything good like that.
Right.
Tell me about your family. How many kids do you have?
I have 4 kids.
You have 4 kids?
Mm-hmm.
What are their names? Unless you don't want to talk about that.
I mean, I'll talk about my kids, but I don't want to say their names. But I have 4 beautiful kids.
How many sons and how many daughters?
2 boys and 2 girls.
Oh, nice. How is that growing up? Because I know I only have I have 2 siblings, but I only really lived with like one for most of my life.
You know, it's the thing about my children is I wanted to give them a different lifestyle. So I didn't want them to grow up in the inner city and go through the things I went through. So I tried to raise them a tad bit different. You know, and I just want them to succeed and be the best that they can be, and you know, live a good life and be productive citizens and respect people. So it's me trying to, I say, you know, I struggled with unteaching myself the habits that I grew up with in regards to the way I was raised, to reteach my kids the proper way to be raised so they can have a better lifestyle. Yeah. If that makes sense.
Yeah. Are any of them trying to pursue music?
My little son. Yeah, my little son. His name is Dribble. He would want me to shout him out. Shout out to Dribble. Yeah, I told him if he ever in his life make a rap song talking about he had to struggle, I'm making a diss track on him. So he know what's up.
So he's trying to be a rapper.
He's a rapper. He does his thing. Yeah.
How old is he?
He's 11. No, he's 12 now. He's 12.
Nice.
Yeah.
About to start a whole nother legacy like you did.
I'm going to show you his performance. He's something else.
He performs?
You want to see?
we could see it if we want to. Yeah.
I don't think y'all ready for my 12-year-old. And he did this when he was 11, y'all. I'll be like, who are you on the phone with? He'd be like, Mom, I got to call you back. Too short calling me. I'm like, okay. He's like a little man. Dribble.
He 12?
He was 11 right here. He's 12 now. Yeah. Everybody's trying to sign him. Everybody. I didn't even realize he was so popular, but everybody. Yeah, this is Dribble. So he has it. I just have to tame him.
Yeah, he's got that energy for
He
it.
does. He's 12 now, so he's waiting to hit the big 13.
Dang. I wish I was, stunned like that when I was 12.
Yeah, so I'm gonna start shooting his videos and stuff and getting him ready.
That's what's up.
Yeah.
You said that you wanted to get one of your sons actually to get on a call with us if you wanted to, ask us some questions as well.
Okay, you want me to call him now? Okay.
Yeah, I'm here.
I can't see him right now, but yo, what's good, Hassan?
Nothing much. What's up with yourself?
I'm just chilling, man. It's great. Would have been cool to have you in person, but I'm glad we could get you on the phone too.
Right.
Tell me a little bit about yourself. How old are you?
I'm 15. I'll turn 16 on the 24th.
Nice. Hey, happy early birthday, bro.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Yeah. I just had like a few questions for you, man. I wanted to ask if you, have any interests or see yourself in the future taking like a music career or anything like that with like how your mom did, or if you got other passions that you're working on.
My mom has like shown me a side of music to like where I was able to like play around to see if I was into. I do find interest in it, but right now I think I more so have her business like mindset. Like I'm more like into like real estate and like tripling money, like investments and stuff. That's more my thing. and like owning my own business and getting all that together. But I do find what my mom does to be very interesting, so I have tried to do it myself. I do enjoy it, and it is something I could do on a daily, but it's not something I'm into as of this moment.
That's what's up, man. I respect it. I've felt that way about a lot of stuff in my life. I'm not gonna lie, but I mean, it's cool. Not everybody like. My dad does a lot of stuff that I probably would not want to do, like, writing contracts and all this other legal stuff, making phone calls all day. But I get you, man. I'm sick. I wanted to ask both of you guys on the show today some current topics that have flared up. So obviously, the Baby is a huge name. I wanted to bring him up because he did have a performance at Rolling Loud, and there's a lot of controversy going on because of the things that he said against the LGBTQ community. I hope I got that right. I don't want to disrespect anybody. And he's losing like quick. He's losing money. He's getting taken off of shows and stuff like that. He's losing millions of dollars. He's dropping out of a lot of deals. And I wanted to ask both of you guys what your thoughts are on this situation because obviously, especially for you right here, you guys grew up in an era, obviously growing up around like gangster communities and stuff like that. They don't really look at that stuff, in the best way. So I just wanted to get both your guys' opinions on how you feel about his situation.
Well, I will go first. So my son, Hassan, he is gay. Are you gay, bi? What are you now?
I'm bisexual.
Okay. He's bisexual. And as a mother, me and him have really had our ups and downs in regards to him, owning who he is because I didn't understand it in the era I grew up in. It wasn't okay. And, it wasn't, I have a lot of gay friends that are males, but I didn't have any family members, and I didn't see that coming in regards to my son. So we have fought, argued, fell out, quit talking, because I just didn't agree with his lifestyle and with his choices. And I felt like he was too young to even think or feel that he was gay or bisexual or whatever his preference was. And as a mother, as a mother, it at least for me, it took me back. And looking at it now, I think more so I was embarrassed. He's a great kid, but I just always thought that my son would have a wife and kids and this and that. And that's not who he is at this time. And that's not what he wants. And it's not about what I want or my life. Is about his life and him living and standing in his truth. Now, when the Baby make comments like he make, right? And I can use me and my son for an example, because I wasn't a mother that fully supported him. We beat so hard that he left. We dealt with this whole situation where he wasn't living with me, and he went out in the world. And when he went out in the world, he was abused and mistreated by people because I didn't support him how I needed to. And if I would have supported him, he probably wouldn't have went through everything that he went through. You understand what I'm saying? So say he was a fan of the Babies and he just want to go to this concert because he like his music. He's not getting along with his mom. He went through this, he went through that. Now he's at the concert and this is what the Babies say. You understand what I'm saying? And he has a right to have his opinion and feel how he wants to feel. But it's a problem when you publicly tear people down because of what their preference is.
Especially when you do it, like, once again, right after,
Right, and on a platform. And me being a mother, even though I have friends that are gay, right? And I rock with my friends. And even though with my son, I didn't agree with his lifestyle, this is still my child. So I don't want my son to go out in the world and get mistreated from people like the Baby because of what his preference is. And I understand the era the Baby come from and how he feel, but you also have to understand that the world is changing and it's not about what we dislike or what we like or how we feel. You can disagree with a person, but because you disagree with them don't mean you have to disrespect them.
Yeah.
And that is the problem.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I understand that. It's great. That's exactly how I was like thinking about it. Like, yeah, you can think that stuff, you know, you have all the rights to be like think what you want, but it's different when you're like, you know, targeting somebody and so like calling them out for stuff like that and just making fun of them or saying, you know, racial or, you know, bad stuff just in general about them. It's a little bit different than just having an opinion, you know?
Right. So, Hassan.
Yeah, Hassan, how do you feel about
Yes,
this whole situation with the baby?
Me personally, like my mom said, you know, I left home or whatever, so, you know, I kind of went through my own stuff. I don't really take what people say personally, especially if I don't know them. So what he said didn't affect me at all. You know, I do think it was wrong that he made the comment that he did, because there are people out here with AIDS and HIV, and there is people who probably do sexual activities in the parking lot, but I don't think it was right for him to try to like bring that up as if people don't know that he isn't nobody, same as I'm not nobody to bring up anything about what somebody else has going on. But that also doesn't mean I'm going to bash him because he doesn't agree with the way I think, or I don't agree with the way he thinks. You know, I feel like he can feel the way he feels, and I'm going to feel the way I feel, because I know I wouldn't want anyone trying to tell me what I can and cannot think, especially if that's how people are raised.
Yeah. And do you think he deserves like being pulled out of all these deals and like you know, losing a bunch of money for what he said?
I'm not going to say he deserves it, but, you know, for some people it's consequences, especially to what you say in your actions. So maybe that's just the way of the universe telling him to humble himself and not just go around saying what he feels like he could have said in the moment, and, you know, think about how other people feel about what he says, especially because he's a very big influencer and he has a lot of people looking up to him.
Yeah, I get that. And also, Hassan, I just wanted to ask you a question because obviously for like everybody that's like gay, bisexual, and stuff like that, I want to ask you how you opened up to your mom at first, because obviously that's a huge problem, a huge like, you know, a jump, a risk that you people take in life is when they first tell their parents or other people.
Right. Well, I'm not gonna say that I really opened up to her. I didn't really get the opportunity. It was like I was asked the question and I would dodge it, and she kind of had to like find out on her own. And then at one point, you know, you just get tired of hiding it. At one point, you just don't care no more. So then I just kind of, you know, explained to her like, this is what it is, and then she ended up finding out I had a boyfriend, and then it was, you know, along the line, and it caused, you know, major problems, but we were able to get over it.
That's good to hear. That's good to hear.
Yeah, like if he chooses to bring a boyfriend home, right? First of all, he's 15. So my stance is you shouldn't even be thinking about having a boyfriend. You should think about school and getting to the next level of your life. But Hassan is one of my kids that he has my mentality. When I was 15, I was grown. To him, I'm grown. That and I know you can tell by the way he speaks, he converses.
Yeah.
He's not an average 15-year-old. I would accept him bringing a young boy home, right? But I'm not gonna lie. It's still, I love my son. I accept my son, but it's still like I have to relearn him. Huh?
There's still like boundaries. I just feel like we're not there yet. Like
I just feel like it's hard for me to. It's still like.
It's totally understandable. Yeah, I feel like there's certain boundaries we both set for each other that we're getting to know, and once we feel like we can, you know, push those boundaries up where we can get a little bit more comfortable with each other, we will get there. And I'm totally okay with being patient with my mom, because I understand it is something different. It's, you know, 20 years ago this wasn't normal, but at the end of the day, this is what it is. You know, you're gonna get me for me 100%. And my mom is starting to get that, and I'm starting to understand her too. So we're both just, you know, a work in progress.
My son, everybody.
15.
Yeah, 15 going on 30. But yeah, you know, and that's the thing. And I do want to protect my son from guys like the baby or guys like, you know, Little Boosie. Shout out to Little Boosie. I got a song with Little Boosie. But I understand where Boosie is coming from. I do, because I was Boosie. I was that. I don't want my sons being gay. I'm not gonna lie. But once it happened to you, it changes your perspective because it's like, okay, what are you gonna do?
Yeah.
Well, what are you gonna do? You gonna disown your child? You gonna hope something happen to your child? You're gonna not love your child? No, if your child is adamant about this is who your child is, what are you gonna do? Now you want to protect your child because you know how cruel the world is.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
Hassan was one of my children that Hassan is my kid that I fought the most for. He used to have me in so much shit. Like, thinking back, I didn't fought court cases, all type of shit over Hassan. And I worried that the world was going to be too tough on him. But Hassan grew up to be a child. If you call him out, he's coming. He's not going to back down. And that's what I respect. And even having, I'll just put it out there like this. I know certain people that pretend to be straight and they're really living a lie because they can't be who they are, because they won't be accepted by their family, their friends. So when I look at my son, I'm like, no matter if I disagreed, if his father disagreed, whoever disagreed, he still was like, fuck y'all, I'm standing in my truth. And for that, I commend him because I see other people that struggle with that. And their life is, they're depressed and stuff.
Yeah, they can't. It's not like their life. It's like they're always stressing about something.
Right. So it's kind of like I just look back like, okay, well, even though it's still uncomfortable for me now in a sense, and it's only uncomfortable because this is my son. That's but I still, as a mother, have to unconditionally love him and work through that and get to relearn him and accept him for who he is. So I don't want him getting bashed by guys or being disrespected. But I also teach him, and he know if they disrespect you, you serve their ass. Like you still a man, period. So if you get somebody that's trying to get on you like that, you let them know what time it is, and that's him. You're not gonna punk him or disrespect him or, So
I think it's good that you guys, have like gone through this stuff, talked about it, because obviously 15 sounds pretty mature, knows what he's talking about and stuff like that. So obviously, stuff causes problems, but I think it's, it'll be good for you guys in the long run. You'll learn a lot of, stuff about each other.
And I just say that people don't understand it. Like, even I see how people talk about Gabrielle Union and D Wade and how their daughter is transgender, their son is transgender now. It's a transgender girl, and people don't understand it. But I say you won't understand it until it's you and your child, until you're put in that situation. And look, even with my son, and he'll tell you, I put him in boxing, like everything, Nation of Islam, you name it, Hassan. Didn't I?
Yes, I've been to all of that.
Not to convert him, but to give him guidance because, his father wasn't around. His father is incarcerated on a life sentence. So me being his mom, I wanted to give him the guidance and have a male instill, certain things in him that me as a single mother raising him couldn't do. So I put him in boxing and I put him in things that I felt would build him up as a young man. But sometimes the path is different. Right. It's not the path that you set out. And I was that mother looking at other young boys like that were gay, like, oh, hell no, couldn't be my child. But see, you'll get humbled because when I said it couldn't be my child, it ended up being my child. When it ended up being my child, I didn't understand it. So then I had to understand it and I had to humble myself and I had to change my views. And I think that people, like even for people that say they're comfortable with it, I think they say it because they don't want to get canceled. I think it
I agree. I totally agree with that.
Yeah, I just think for everyone that's jumping on the bandwagon now, some people don't want to get canceled and some people are still uncomfortable with it. Me, as a mother having a gay son, I am uncomfortable with it, but I'm willing to change. I'm willing to learn. I'm willing to educate myself, and I will, always accept my baby. It was just a curveball. It's like, you want to bump ass cheeks, like not like. I always say that to him. We be clouded. But no, it's just like this. And he's like, Mom, you're so handsome. That's what I tell him. And
I think that's what's wrong. Like nowadays is that, for one, people are afraid of getting canceled and, not being able to do anything with their life if they say the wrong thing. But I think they just need to say how they feel, but not be like disrespectful and show hate towards it. They just have to express that they're not comfortable with it.
Like you are. Like you're saying, I don't quite accept it, but I'm willing to learn. That's a conversation.
Right. And this is a conversation I've had with my male gay friends. And they're like, SK, he's your baby. One of my friends was like, why he want to join this world? It's so messy. Like, these are conversations that we have amongst each other. And my friends will call Hassan. And, it's okay to say if you don't fully accept something or you don't understand it or this makes you uncomfortable. You don't have to join the masses over here or over there because you don't want to get canceled or you don't want to offend anybody, but you just can't disrespect people. That's the difference. I'm not going to get on here and say F this community up here. No, it's my son's gay. I'm uncomfortable with it at times, but guess what? It ain't my life. It's his life. I have to learn to accept it and understand him for who he's becoming.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
It does, yeah.
Now, Hassan, wait a minute, because he's gay now. Now, and this is being real. You can only put it on me one at a time now. You can't jump into being transgender from being gay. It's too much on me at a time. You get what I'm saying? I've accepted this. So he's like, no, Mom, I'm not wearing the lace front. I'm like, okay. You get what I'm saying? Like, I can't accept this. Like, okay, we're finally here. We're good. And then he's in heels. Okay, slow down. We got to.
That's also like completely different.
Right. In transgenders, it is some beautiful transgender people out there. Hassan actually, Sydney Starr is a transgender who spent the night at my house plenty of times when the kids was little. They didn't even know she was transgender. They thought she was a biological woman.
Yeah, I really did it.
You didn't know Sydney was transgender. But what was you about to say?
No, I was just gonna say that most of my incidents you could say have been with straighter, ignorant people, just because I've probably been called a faggot maybe over 10,000 times, and it's like that's the only thing I would really get hot over. It's like you constantly feel like you have to defend yourself against people because they always disagree with what you got going on, but it's not them. They're not you. So it's like you don't know what's going through my head. Why do I feel like I have to explain anything to you? So then your first result is, okay, let me pop you in your face. Like, let's just get it on. You know what I'm saying? But then I'm learning you can't be ignorant like that. Like everything can't result to violence. You have to learn how to, like my mom said, how I'm trying to help educate her on it. I can help educate other people on it instead of trying to result to violence and get ignorant. You know what I'm saying? Like for real.
So you're black, right? We can't see you.
You said
you're black.
I'm sorry.
Right?
You said what?
He said, "Are you black?"
Yes.
You're no. Tell him what you are.
I mean, I didn't want to get into the. I'm mixed.
He's
I'm
black
mixed.
and Mexican.
Okay. So when somebody calls you the N-word, you get upset.
Actually, I'm not gonna lie. It's you're talking about the NIGGER?
Yeah, the hard R.
Not my homie N-word.
Oh, okay. Yeah, if somebody calls me that, yes, it's gonna be an issue, of course.
It's up.
Now,
It's up and it's stuck.
Do you
Yeah.
get as mad? You have the same feeling when somebody calls you the F word?
Yeah, I kind of take both of those the same way. Like that word and then that word, they both kind of mean the same meaning to me. Because it's like you think you're disrespecting me by using those words when that's not even what I am.
I never thought about that. Is it when someone call you the F word is just as bad as someone calling you the N word?
No, I don't think it's just as bad because the N word has.
No,
way
for
more-
you.
Oh no, I just no. I'm saying for me, I take both of them the same. I'm gonna react the same way if you call me whichever. Yeah.
That put things in perspective, like how it makes you feel,
Yeah, I never thought about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, because most people think they're disrespecting you by saying that, but they don't even know what the meaning means.
Yeah, I mean, I could see that because like that's like disrespecting your whole life, your whole culture.
Right.
Dang, I never thought
Because
of
this
it like
is
that way
a
either.
very big community now.
Yeah, you can see by what's happening to the baby.
Right.
They're getting stronger. Voices are out there to be heard and stuff like that, and people are actually starting care about what people when they show disrespect. People care a lot more. It's cool to see.
More people are comfortable coming out of the closet.
Right.
More accepted and there's more information about it to where people are more comfortable with it.
And you know what? I honestly do think that you can't even like really judge these people because if my mom's even said it, like it really all starts in the household. That's how they were raised by their parents because that's how their parents were. So some people, if you really just talk to them, they'll listen. Because I've had a couple of people in my life who I just have to really talk to. You know what I'm saying? Like really just tell them what it is so they don't think ignorant about it or think it's something wrong with it.
Well, like your mom was saying, is that it's fine. You have your opinion. But you can't be ignorant and go out and call everybody names, knowing that you're going to hurt everyone's feelings because you just don't. Although it's accepted in your home, so the N-word is accepted in people's homes too.
Right.
But you don't go out and call a bunch of people that word because it offends people, hurts them. So that's why you have problems.
Because if I'm with my son and someone calls him that word, it's up. Like, it's up. I'm not losing. Like, they catching hands and bullets and everything that we got with them. Just playing. But yeah, it's up. Yeah, for sure.
So you got to be a little bit more responsible if you're speaking to the masses. If you're talking to 5 of your friends in the garage, then cool, you guys can have an argument about it. But if you're talking to 1 million people, you better know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
You're going to offend a lot of people. And clearly he did because they spoke up.
I mean, it's just, like I said, if you disagreed, I mean, you have to disrespect.
No. And he has a right to believe the way he believes, the baby does.
No, most definitely. Now, Hassan, how do you feel about Little Nas X?
Honestly, he's like my idol. Like, he's just like so unbothered. I like how he things. Like, some people will go on the internet and, run their fingers or whatever and get all, ignorant with the rest of them. But he just kind of does it in a more, like, classier but funny way. Like, he makes a joke out of it, and that's all you need is a joke. Like, you know what I'm saying? You don't need to always get upset and get out your seat. That's how I feel like that's a more appropriate way to handle things, And he's branding himself. He's just making himself more popular because everybody speaks of him, and I think that's good.
Well, he's clearly super well respected, #1 records, and I think a lot of people, especially in the gay community, that they probably look at him like, I wish I could be like him because
he's out.
He speaks the same thing I do. He's comfortable with it, and it makes people feel good that they have somebody to look up to that they're just like. And that's why entertainment is so great.
So let me ask you this. So the video that he did, which I thought was a really super dope creative video, it was artistic. I've never seen a video like that. But when I seen the guys in the showers, I was like, oh my goodness. Like, I'm just like, I'm like, hold up. Do you think that it was too much him putting that there? Like, do you think it's like, okay, if you're gay, this is what you like. Why display it like that?
Honestly, like I told you this yesterday in the car, like to me, it's like the same thing as letting your kid watch somebody dying on TV or somebody using guns to shoot somebody. It's like they're gonna whatever they see, they're gonna get into. So if you're gonna complain about us, being proud of ourselves, complain about people dying on TV and kids growing up to be like that, or complain about whatever else because there's plenty of things to complain about besides what we got going on. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think there's.
So you think that you can really compare the two?
Well, what he's saying is that you can't. If you're gonna have rules, it got to be rules that.
Right, like if we're gonna cancel out us showing that, we should cancel out a lot of things that people aren't gonna be happy about. So just because you're not interested in it, then turn your TV off. You control what your kids watch. You control what you watch. If you don't want to see that, you have a remote. That's what it's used for.
I agree with that. I mean, it's not my thing, but I do believe in freedom of speech, and art is one of them. So.
Yeah, I believe that. But
your music would never be on the radio if they had rules like that.
Right.
Our music would never be on the radio.
Right.
Just We got to be thankful for that.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, well, rap wasn't allowed to be like that for a long time. So
thanks to Suge Knight.
Right.
yeah. Well, I mean, it's cool to see because I never really. Oh, I don't think I told you. You are the first female woman to be on my podcast.
Oh,
dope. So
okay.
this is pretty special. But it's cool to see like the a woman's perspective of it. Also, coming from somebody who has experience, coming out and stuff like that. Hassan, I really appreciate you, talking to us and stuff like that. Give us a lot of insight. And obviously, big ups to you because you sound super mature. You're talking about, stuff like that. And
Thank you, appreciate it.
Also, shout out to your mom because obviously you got, your younger son. Obviously, he focused and everything like that.
I shot the Mute Stuff video. Dribble video.
Yeah, you raising some grown kids quick.
Him and Dribble is night and day. They are. He thinks Dribble's ghetto. Hassan is bougie, so he'll come and be like, he's acting ghetto. There he go with him, his little ghetto friend. He's a lot.
Yeah, but it's cool. Obviously you're doing right with your kids and stuff like that. Obviously, your only family left, so you gotta treat them right and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But those are all the questions I had for you, Hassan. I really appreciate you coming on. Making all the effort with the phone and everything. I know you couldn't be here today, but still appreciate it a lot.
Yeah, thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Yeah, of course.
Okay, baby.
All right.
Okay, bye.
Yeah, I would like to thank you for being able to call him and everything like that.
Yeah.
Make the extra effort.
Yeah, he's a pretty smart kid.
Yeah, and it's sensitive topics like this. They're sensitive for a reason, but that you got to talk about it more so they're not sensitive.
Right, and I hope that other parents will take from this and it can help them. Especially with me being honest and my son, being on the phone and you just got to work through it. Even if you don't understand it, you got to educate yourself and push yourself to understand it so you can catch the wave of, the world turning. And I think people don't understand. If you look at the dynamics of our world, it's always a new leaf turning. Like it's always changing, and this is a time where we're changing and people are scared to change, but whether we like it or not is happening.
Yeah. You just gotta, adapt to it. I feel like, after like a good amount of time, it'll get more even playing field, be way more accepted, especially because like kids are growing up now, learning from the internet, saying like they should be accepted,
right.
All these people are normal. It's more of just, like we were saying earlier, how you're raised, but then also how like, you growing up is the main thing about it. Your
right.
parents' outlook on it plays a big part and stuff like that. So that's more for though, like, if they're not against it,
Right.
I feel like parents that aren't like against it and are fine with it, that, if their kids are less likely to have such a strong opinion on it if they are uncomfortable with it.
Right.
Yeah. And so what does the future look like for you? Are you still rapping, still producing?
Yeah, so I'm still rapping. I'm very excited about that. I completed my album during the pandemic called Unfinished Business. I have features from Anthony Hamilton, Benny Mon, Little Boosie, Dave East, Juvenile, Sugar Free, Compton AV, Cocaine, Mr. Fab, just to name a few. So, my album's going to drop this year. And yeah, I'm very excited. I dropped a few singles. I just dropped a single with Paul Wallace, doing really good. So yeah, I'm just grinding and I'm trying to continue to build my catalog.
Let people know if they want to listen to your music, they're waiting on this album to come out and stuff like that. What should they look up and where should they look it up?
People can check me out on Instagram. My Instagram handle is my name, Helicia Choice, HELECIACHOYCE. But I just realized because my initials SKG is there, you can actually just put in SKG and I'll pop up.
Yeah,
I've been giving people my full name like this, but just put SKG and it'll come up. And my Twitter is Helicia C. So HELECIAC.
And you upload your music on Apple Music, YouTube?
YouTube, Spotify, Apple Music, anywhere where they're streaming music, I'm on there.
Great, sounds great. Well, I expect, obviously you said you're gonna let an album out. You said some pretty nice names on them features.
I executive produced my album. I'm so proud of myself. My producer for this album is Cavi. That Cavi produced my whole album. Day one mixed it. So yeah, I'm excited to release it. And I got videos to each song on there. So
nice.
Yeah.
That's big. That's big.
Yeah.
That's what's up. I expect to hear that in the future. I'm gonna take a listen, maybe look at them videos first, see if they, that high quality,
Okay.
Scenery. I wanna see it all. But I appreciate you coming in. Obviously said you're the first female that we've had on here. It's a pretty big deal. Only been dudes up in here, but it's all good. But yeah, I appreciate you coming in one more time. And rest in peace to everyone in your family and stuff like that. All the tragedies you've been through.
Thank you.
Nothing but good wishes for you and your family.
Thank you. Yeah. Thank you for having me.
Guys, don't forget it. SKG. Follow her on everything. Wait for that music to come out. And yeah, that's it. It's been another episode with the Prodcast. And you know what to do. Out.
It's the Prodcast with a Prodigy. It's the Prodcast with a Prodigy. It's the Prodcast with a Prodigy. My podcast.